Ah, Good morning, everybody. It is Monday the 20th, and I have some things to talk about. We're going to talk about some weekly updates as far as how training is going. We're going to talk about how nutrition is going, cycling, and a particular update as far as my heart rate and how that's improved up. So stay tuned. We'll talk soon. Hey guys, all right. So, as I said, it's Monday the 20th. It's been a great weekend. We've had some phenomenal weather outside. It's going to get a little warmer this week. I think on Wednesday here in North Texas, we're expecting some rain, and it's going to get a little cooler, but definitely had a lot of rain this season already, which is good. We need it. Don't get me wrong. But had a good cycling trek on Saturday. Went out with PBA, did Tweeners Long, which was ended up being 57 miles for me, but normally it's around 56 miles, and had a good trek with that. Really good experience, good group, good strong group to ride with. So I'll work with them for probably about another 2 to 3 weeks, and then I'm going to move up to the DB, the distance builder rides, to start working on distance, but also speed, and start improving up on that because I've only got about 2 months left to go. Actually, June, July. So roughly about 2.5, 3 months left to go before the hotter than hell. So it's starting to crack down pretty well with that. But a couple of things that we want to go with. First and foremost, nutrition wise, I've had to increase my calories up because two different reasons. First of all, I'm cycling more, so I'm basically oxidizing, I'm burning more energy, but I need to bring that back in. And I really came up with that because my workouts the last 2 weeks have not been productive at all. I mean, my training workouts have not been productive. I've been sluggish. I haven't been feeling it, and just my drive has really dropped down as a result of that. So I felt, all right, I needed to basically increase up. And also, I was looking, of course, vanity, I'm looking, but I was looking a little flat. And just, again, I was not having the same type of intensity as I normally would be. So I decided to increase my calories up a little bit. Now, to recap, I've been focusing on around 18 to 1900 calories every day. It's been my goal. And I've been able to meet that, to certain variations. Some days I'm a little bit under, some days I'm a little bit over, but that's okay. And I'm keeping my proteins at about 180 grams per day of protein. And again, sometimes it's a little difficult. You have to add in some protein powder or add in a little bit of extra stuff. I think last week on Thursday, I had to, eat some 6 eggs at the end of the day just because my calories have been dropped off throughout the day just so much. So I had to add in those calories and add in that protein and make sure I got my fats in at the same time. So the best way for me to have done that was 6 eggs. Not appealing, obviously, but it worked out well. So I was able to maintain that. So increased up my calories up to 2,000. And so not a big jump, 100 calories, 200 calories is not a huge difference whatsoever. It's basically a banana and a half peanut butter sandwich. That was it. It literally was that simple. But it made a huge difference as far as how my workout went. I felt like I had better energy. My workout recovery was better. And just overall, I enjoyed the process a little bit more. So I'm going to be doing that. And that's a situation to where as your activity increases up, you can increase up your calories just a little bit, but don't feel like you have to go overboard. It's not like we have to, add in an extra 3 to 4 to 500 calories. No, that's not the case at all. 100 to 200 calories is more than sufficient because that will still keep me in a deficit just because of the activity levels in which I'm doing. So speaking of which, weight is down. I'm down to officially 219 pounds as of yesterday. So broke that 220 barrier, and it's been a long time since I've been at that point, which is good because I'm feeling it. I feel better. My sleep is better. I'm not snoring nearly as much. Now, in full disclosure, I ended up getting a mouth guard. Went to go see a sleep physician. Did have sleep apnea, and they prescribed, instead of a CPAP, just a mouth guard, and it's been tons better. I've talked about this a little bit in the past, but it's made a world of difference, not only for me as far as my quality of sleep, but also for how Christina sleeps. So she is not going to smother me at night. She's actually a few times had to poke me, make sure I'm still breathing. So, but that's been a really interesting, component with that. So, but like I said, so I'm sleeping better. I'm getting better quality sleep. My workouts are going well. My clothes are fitting better or getting bigger, however you want to look at it. I mean, it used to be in an extra large. I'm probably going to end up going down to a large, probably in about a month or two, just to where it goes from that. And I had a conversation with my buddy Jeff a few weeks ago about, your clothes size. And that's a good metric with it, because unfortunately, as you start losing weight, your clothes just, they get frumpier. And there comes a point to where you have to go out and get new stuff. I'm getting to that point really, really quickly. So we'll see how that works out. I think Jeff is already doing that. He was wearing a pair of shorts the other week that just looked perfect on him. But, again, I digress. So anyways, cycling updates. Like I said, really starting to increase up my mileage on my bike. I had a great ride on Friday or on Saturday. Actually, I had a ride on Friday night or Friday afternoon, kind of as a pre-warm up for Saturday. Saturday did our 56 miles, tweeners long with PBA, phenomenal group. And Darnell, who I was back with most of the time, is a great guy to ride with. Even though he's an OU fan, can't all be perfect. But it was just a good ride. So like I said, I'll be doing that distance for another couple weeks, and then we'll move up to the distance builders, to DB Reg, DB Light, and then start to be able to progress up as we go up at that point. But again, as you start improving up on your cycling, you start improving up on your distance, and this goes for if you're looking at cycling, if you're looking at swimming, running, if you're working out just generally in the weight room, things of that sort. It's always a good idea to take a back off day. When you ride hard or when you train hard, you need to take a back off day. You need to let your body heal. And what I'm saying by back off day, sometimes you'll hear people say deload. Sometimes you'll hear people say a back off day, or just to reduce the day. But there are times to where doing a back off day or a drop down day is absolutely warranted. Again, case in point, Sunday morning, woke up and just my legs were just exhausted. They were tight. They were tired is the only way I can put it. They were just tired, and ended up going out for a bike ride that afternoon. Now, I only did about 15 miles. I did an hour, and I plugged it into my Garmin to where I had a recovery day. And that was to, just again, get the wheel spinning, get the blood pumping, and just make improvements. And I felt so much better after that it made a huge difference, because it's not only physically, but it's also mentally, psychologically, neurologically. Letting your nervous system recover up is just a huge piece of the pie. It's a piece of the puzzle in order to be able to maintain progress all the way through. And that brings me up to my last point, which is performance update. So here's an interesting conversation I had with Larry, one of my clients, on Friday. And it was about how much weight can impact your fitness level. And so I decided to basically do a little, like I said, on Sunday, yesterday, did a recovery ride. And so just did an hour. And the goal was to stay in that zone 2 range, which for me, based on my age and my conditioning level, is around between 110 to 130 beats per minute. Everybody's a little bit different. Sometimes you'll have different variations with it. But for me, my aerobic zone, is going to be within that 60 to 70% range, 60 to 85, somewhere in there. And for me, it comes up to about 110 to 130 beats per minute. Now, I'm lucky because I do have a heart rate strap that I'm able to track it with, and I also have my bike computer that I'm able to collect all the data with. And here is the interesting thing. So yesterday, I was cruising up at about 124 beats per minute, beats per minute average, which is spot on where I want to be at. And my speed was right at about 14.1 miles per hour average. You obviously have slowdowns on the inclines, speed ups on the straight aheads, and basically. But I really did try to keep it under between that 12 and a half to 14 to under 15 miles an hour process with that, which I did successfully. Like I said, I think my max heart rate was 139. My average was 126, 124, 126, somewhere in there. But here is the interesting thing, is that when I looked at my data, I looked at my metrics from just a year ago. In order to keep that same level of intensity, to keep my heart rate within about the 110 to 130, I would have to be cycling about 12 and a half, between 12 and a half miles an hour. So that's virtually a 13% improvement from where I was just a year ago. And here's the difference: my weight. I am having the same bike. I have a lot of the same equipment. Some things I've actually improved up on, but a lot of the same equipment. I haven't made any major investments or improvements, as far as wheels or frames or anything. So the technology is virtually exactly the same, but my weight has changed. That's how much of an impact it can make. I remember it would have been 97, I think it was. I was doing a certification course at the Cooper Institute, and I was doing a advanced PFS certification. And I remember Dr. Cooper coming in, and he was talking about, either Dr. Cooper or one of the other proctors came in and was talking about weight. But here's the thing: when it comes to fitness level, you still want to be in shape. You still want to be physically conditioned. But if you're a little overweight, that's still better than being skinny and thin, but not conditioned. There's a balance. There's a trade-off with that. So it's better to be overweight or a little over your weight and be physically fit, physically conditioned up, versus at your ideal weight or underweight and be deconditioned. But here's the caveat. But it's still a stress on the system. It's still a stress on the system. I saw a picture of myself, and picture's worth 1,000 words. And I saw a picture of myself that we had taken. This would have been probably 2 years ago. And it was after I was riding with a different group at the time, but I was riding with the group, and we had just gotten done doing probably 70, 80 miles. And we're taking a rest stop, and I saw a picture of myself with this group sitting down, and it was not flattering at all. But I was physically conditioned up. I was able to do the Hotter Than Hell. I think it was probably a month out from doing the Hotter Than Hell, the 100-mile bike ride. But it still was not optimally where I need to be at. So, am I where I need to be at now? No, not even close. I'm still working up on that process. I'm still working on those goals. And again, that was a conversation I had on Friday with, a buddy of mine, was when I get to that goal, or when we get to that goal, because he and I are doing similar goal, is that we're going to reevaluate. We're going to see where we want to be at. And that ultimately is always that move, is that goalpost, that finish line continuously can evolve. Once I get to this point, where am I going to go from here? Now, to a certain degree, will it make a difference if I get to 200, which is my goal, by, in about 2 months, a little bit less than 2 months? But will I be any happier at 175, 155, 130? I don't know. Maybe. But the question is, could I get there? Definitely I could. I know for a fact I could if I wanted to. But is it sustainable? Will I feel that I have a better performance at that point in time? Maybe, maybe not. I'll reevaluate at that time and see how it looks at. So other than that, guys, have a great week. Hope everything's going well. Remember, next Monday is Memorial Day. So most of us are getting ready for that. Oh, and by the way, also, this is the last week for a lot of you kids that are in high school. This is your last week. You obviously have finals this week. A lot of the kids from Wiley High School, which I train, and from Wiley East and some different schools, this is their last week. So their finals this week for those that have to have finals. So good luck to them. And for those of you that have seniors graduating, congratulations. Guys, you've earned it. So, other than that, guys, have a fantastic week, and we'll talk to you next time. Peace out.